Hello everyone, welcome to Fraser Not the Exorcist, and today I'll be reviewing Uncle Buck, the 1989 John Hughes comedy family film starring John Candy as the titular character. Now, before I get into my thoughts on the film, just quickly I want to go through a plot summary for you. The mother's father, let's just call her the mother because I can't remember her name right now. The mother's father has a heart attack, basically, and so she wants to go and be by his side. And the father, basically the stepfather, goes with her. I'm not sure why they both go away. It could have just been her. It's not like both of them needed to be there. He could have just stayed back. But of course, the plot needs to happen. So yeah, they just both jump off. They don't have anyone really to care for the kids while they're gone because they have three kids: a teenage daughter and two little kindergarten, first grade age kids, right? So yeah, they both jump off, but right before they go, since they need to have someone to take care of the kids, they call Uncle Buck. And Buck is basically, as a character in the beginning of the film, he's a slacker, a slob, an overweight slob who just avoids work. Just avoids work and goes to the basically the cheapest, most down low, just easiest way that he can to get money to support his slobbery, just slacker lifestyle, basically. And somehow he's kept a girlfriend for 8 years. I'm not sure how. They just kind of, I don't know. It just kind of happens that he has a girlfriend somehow. Anyway, just yeah. So of course, his girlfriend owns, well, not owns, but she manages this. I think it's a car dealership, and he's supposed to go to work for her the next day, and he promises that he's going to show up. But of course, he's a slacker and a slob at heart, so he will avoid work at any cost. And if that means taking care of some nieces and nephews that he hasn't seen in about 10 years or so, then then that'll be it. So he of course leaves right away to take care of the kids, gets there, and basically throughout the film, well, of course, when he starts out, he's not good at taking care of the kids, but eventually he gets better. And just the overall experience makes him a better person, and just helps everyone out and makes everything better in the process, basically. Yeah, that's basically what the film is about. And overall, just to start things off, I think that Uncle Buck is a pretty good movie, pretty good. So just to start with the positives, John Candy in the lead role as Uncle Buck is the heart and soul of the film. Basically, there's good acting all around, of course, but John Candy in particular just really hits it home with the Uncle Buck character. Just see just not just with the comedy, but with the emotional scenes as well. He really does a good job to make Uncle Buck into this likable slob of a character who with us following his journey, him being as good as he is in the role, of course, sells us on the growth of the Uncle Buck character and really makes the film have this really warm heart to it that just makes it a great film overall. Everyone else is good. Everyone else is good at what they do, but the well, but the main crux of the film is basically Uncle Buck, is just basically Uncle Buck and his girlfriend, and the main, well, his oldest niece, the teenager one, just her being like a rebellious kid and stuff like that. That's basically the two biggest conflicts of the film, and that just kind of brings me to the problems that I have with the Uncle Buck movie, and it's just not enough overall. It it's nicely paced. I think that everything that is in the film should be in the film, but it's just not big enough. Oh, like just like when I think of John Hughes movies, I usually think of chaos, just like chaos with everyday regular people in the lead roles. And Uncle Buck has everyday regular people like most John Hughes films. They're not like, like wealthy socialites or anything like that, but it's missing the chaos. And it's not that like it has to be chaos, like there has to be chaos in order for the film to be good, but chaos is something, and Uncle Buck is missing that something. There isn't a sense of urgency. There isn't any sort of big thing to really drive the film home. Of course, like the situations that they have in there, um, could be made into big conflicts and stuff, but they're just not. They're 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 just kind of I, I I don't want to say flat because it's not flat, but it's just it's done well enough, but that's it. It's just not anything special to really write home about throughout the entire film. And it's just which is the film's biggest problem, is that it's just not big enough. The conflicts aren't made a big enough deal, and there is no like sense of urgency in the film to really, like keep you that interested in it overall. So but yeah, but still, basically it's a good film. It's just that there's not much going on to really hook you into it that much, like other John Hughes movies, like a Ferris Bueller's Day Off, or just any of the Home Alone movies that he was involved with, at least. And it just kind of leaves Uncle Buck's legacy, since the film has come and gone all the way back in 1989, as just the as just the movie that Macaulay Culkin was in before he started Home Alone. And that's just kind of been its reputation, and it's all that I hear people talking about when they mention Uncle Buck, is that Macaulay Culkin was in it before he did Home Alone in 1990, and in 1991 or two, I believe, for the sequel. So yeah, this overall Uncle Buck, but it's still a good film. I think it's still, as I said, well paced, well acted, and since it lacks a sense of urgency or any sort of big conflict to really drive anything home. As I said before, John Candy is the heart and soul of the film, and basically the biggest reason why the film is as good as it is. What really made me like this film, and just kind of hit home for me personally about the film, was the scene where Uncle Buck is basically, just basically being a slob, right? The kids are off at school, and he's, like got money from his not his sister-in-law, right, to take care of the kids. So he's not working or anything. He's just laying around the house doing nothing, just watching TV and eating junk food, right? And he goes into this monologue to the dog, to the family dog, about how when he was younger, he everyone kind of said that he was living the life, basically, because he kept a girlfriend, but he, he avoided work. He, well, of course, he didn't do the whole 9 to 5 thing. He didn't get a bunch of stress because of his slobbery lifestyle. He just kind of laid around and just kind of got lucky all the time, making money here and there from like betting and stuff, to basically support his lifestyle and somehow still keep a girlfriend, you know. And back then, when he was younger, everyone would tell him that he had it made, basically, that he, you know, like they kind of admired him for it. But that now that he's like this 40-year old, you know, slob, still hasn't changed at all, they don't say that anymore. Like, they're off living their lives, and he's still, you know, on ground level, just barely making ends meet in a crummy apartment, because he's just lazy, and just doesn't want to commit to anything. He just wants to be free, and just not be tied down. You know, but of course, and it's that scene in particular that just kind of hit home to me. Um, you know, just personally, just because of like personal reasons that I won't talk about or anything. But it really, you know, it's a great scene. It's a great dramatic scene that really hit home the Uncle Buck character for me, and really made me feel for him. So yeah, that's basically my thoughts about the Uncle Buck movie. I wish I could say more, but as I said before, there's just not that much to it. It's just a decent comedy film that, you know, just it made a good amount of money, almost $80 million on a less than $20 million budget, so that's great. And that's about it. I wish if it had more. I Well, oh, something I forgot to mention. I wish if the gags were funnier, because in the first half there's a good amount of funny gags, especially when the film opens, and we first meet the Uncle Buck character, and we first meet the kids and how they interact with each other. But as the film goes on, they're like the gags kind of get more just basic and cliche, and kind of desperate too, with the levels that they sink to, and just don't land at all. But it doesn't ruin the film at all. It's not cringy. It's just it's just cheeky, cliche humor that just kind of passes by. It's not funny, but it's not annoying. It's just kind of there, honestly. So yeah, the big problem with the film is that it just kind of needed more. It just needed more stuff. It needed to be bigger. It just needed more, is my basic summary of what it needed. So yeah, but given the good acting and the good, like, dramatic moments, and just you know, it's just a great warm heart in that, the great warm heart that was placed in it by John Candy's portrayal of Uncle Buck. I still think it's a good film. Not one that I recommend, but one that is just a decent, good family film. As long as you don't mind of a few, like, B words and D words here and there. So they don't drop any F bombs, I think. But yeah, so yeah. Or overall, I give Uncle Buck about a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 seems fair. It's a decent film. So, and if you want to watch it, you know, you should go ahead and do that. But don't feel inclined to do it, because it's not that good of a film. So yeah, that's basically my thoughts. This has been First and Not the Exorcist. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to know when I upload next. I just said that. That's about it. The video's over. I'll see you all next time. God bless.